Mic check. Is music coming through? The music should be really faint today. I've toned it down a bit. I'm trying to figure out exactly why TikTok gets shut off after about an hour. I don't know if it's a time limitation or what. So I'm just testing it. Hey, Chim, how are you? Got a bit of a sore throat today, so fighting off a bit of a cough at the moment. We'll see how it goes. So welcome back to Mapmaker Monday, everyone. My name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Today's stream is a focus on building a map live, while our community can chime in and share ideas and feedback towards the build, and also ask questions and get support for Dungeon Alchemist in real time in AMA format, which means ask me anything. So if you have any, questions, concerns, feedback, suggestions, need guidance with your map making, maybe you just got a copy of Dungeon Alchemist for Christmas and you're just learning how to use it, today's the day to tune in because I will be guiding you through the tool live. Let's make sure we get into the next scene. Excuse me. Hey, look at that guy. The face made for radio. Apparently a voice made for radio too. I was listening to myself the other day from a stream and I was like, dang, I sound good. How was everyone's weekend? And I'm just checking the feeds. We're live on all platforms right now, so that's good. I'm gonna get the mouse highlighter on. How you doing, Anani? Welcome back. So, here we are with our map of, the month, I guess you could say. It is called the Bone Forge. And here we have a lava field, a volcano that was created during a cataclysm in a massive battle where like hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives. As you can see from all the bone still present. Excuse me, my throat is just so sore today. Welcome, Sleepy Potato. How you doing? So, what we've been working on with this map, we started on it last week, and we'll be working on it more today, but essentially, this is a forge that was built in a fissure of a massive volcano, or this volcano in particular. So, there's a cave system beneath this, which we're going to work on today. And that would be where we kind of build the forge out. Let me put the lights on so you can kind of see what this is. So as you can see, there's just massive piles of bones, but also charred bones. And I'm kind of building that into the lore of this map. I think what I'm thinking is that they use this space as a forge to make really, really resilient blades. The blades are very carbon, get a carbon, rich mixture in them that allows them to kind of act like Damascus steel to a degree. So armor and any blades forged in the fire of this volcano end up being really, really strong. Ooh, that looks gross. I want to fix that. How was everyone's weekend? Do anything cool? Session ended as they finally began the assault on the BBEG's lair. Speaking of D&D, I also played the Dunda yesterday. We'll get into the recap in a bit. I'm going around the edge because I don't really like these tryptophobic nodules. So, just gonna get rid of that. Just noticed I did it the wrong color. Wait, how much did they age? What happened there? Oh my gosh. There was a chance last session for our fighter to have aged 20 years because of an attack. he luckily did not age. So our last session yesterday was quite interesting. Let's just say that. We had essentially just kind of a side quest because one of our players was gone they had a work training that they couldn't miss. And so we decided instead of heading into this dungeon that we were all kind of rearing to do, we opted to not do that and do a side quest. So the side quest that we did was, honestly, it was quite fun. Our contact, pretty much our main contact in the city where we're at right now, his name is Kerfex. He's like a massive minotaur. Three months? Dang. It's a lot of time. So the minotaur came to our bastion and asked us a favor. He asked us to take care of a problem. Basically, at some point in the past in this town we're in, overnight a massive temple sprung up, and it was like an evil temple. And the temple, basically the worshippers and the god or whatever that was the main deity behind the temple were like doing all sorts of nefarious stuff, kidnapping people, using them as like energy siphons for magic purposes. And this guy in particular was one that was kidnapped at one point in the past. This was a long time ago. The temple's been destroyed, disappeared, and the land on top of it had been, cleaned up and reclaimed, and someone built a shop on it. But the shop had been getting like tons of guys coming into it trying to rough them up or like ask them weird questions and like try to gain access to the establishment and take it over. Essentially, they're just like ruffians. So he asked us to go kind of investigate it and take a look into it. I'm still waiting a bit, but this is kind of like the basic intro to it all. That being said, I'm trying to figure out how to transition this next space. I might just get rid of this. We'll leave this here for now. Oh, that's right. Put some rock faces in here. I might try some different ones or merge them together a little bit. What I'm trying to do is make a cave go into the underground layer, which is always a little tricky. That is roughly the right height, though. I think I'm just going to put... Oh, that's way below. Holy cow. Darn. I want to see what that generates. Hey, David, how you doing? So I'm building a map that I've titled the Bone Forge, which is essentially a... Yeah, you can use this to make maps for D&D. Essentially, what I'm planning to do is making an underground kind of forge in a fissure of a volcano. And this volcano was formed as like a part of a cataclysmic event during a massive battle. As you can see, there's like lots of piles of bones and charred bones and the like. And basically, the idea is that this is, thousands of years after it happened. The people in this area will often... well, as you can see, this is bones. It's all just charred. I'm kind of working on this entrance right now. But the plan is to make like an underground area where there is a forge where they craft, armor, shields, weapons, items of all sorts. And the items that they craft in this volcano are very like resilient, sturdy, because of the like carbon rich content in them. So they're like Damascus steel, essentially. So the tool I'm using is called Dungeon Alchemist. Oh, you can ask all the questions you want, David, by all means. That's the point of these streams. I'm here to kind of build and then answer questions by anyone who's present just wanting to learn, right? So I will be honest, Dungeon Alchemist is primarily a map making tool, right? You build the map here and then you export it to play in a variety of different ways, whether it's a printed map, a digital file to use on like a digital tabletop, like a TV or projector tabletop, or even files dedicated to virtual tabletops like Roll20, Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, etc. So the maps you make in this, they are then exported to be used in a variety of different, gameplay methods. Excuse me. We do have tokens that you can like place on your map, like NPCs, background characters, etc. And you can actually use them to kind of explore the map and see it in their perspective, to take like pictures or video to give your players as like handouts. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is a game, but or a way to play, Dungeons and Dragons, but it is a tool used to help facilitate Dungeons and Dragons. Let's see here. I'm really trying to figure out what to do here, because when I go down this next level, it's like way lower than I'm anticipating. Okay, that's the height. Let's see what this does. I think I'm going to use this as like a space to put a... Oh, that's still way low. Man, I messed up. I messed up. What to do? Let me think for a minute. Oh man, just had to sneeze very hard. So this tool, David, allows you to build maps, and also our community shares maps. So the Steam Workshop, Dungeon Alchemist is on Steam, and we have Steam Workshop integration where you can share maps, or browse the over 13,000 maps available. Many of which are fantasy based, but some dip into like modern or cyberpunk, sci-fi, stuff like that. Nice. Do you guys play on like Discord or something? Nice. Yeah. So imagine you make your map in Dungeon Alchemist, which is a customizable tool. So you can make very like bespoke custom maps to your needs, right? And then you can export the map. Ignore this side here because I haven't even begun to work on this part yet. But over here would be like the layer you export, right? And then you could put this as an image or a looped video in Discord for your players. Oh, nice. You share them using Meta? Nice. That's cool. So you can export it as an image. You can export it as a video. You can export it for a variety of different purposes. And then you can share that with your players for play. You can even add a grid to it. So if you're playing D&D, you've got the 5-foot grid set up for your players. Pretty fun. Okay, I'm trying to think of how to approach this next area. So I made a mistake when I raised everything up this high. at least that's all covered for now. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. I definitely am not talented enough to have made this, but I am so very proud to be part of the team. So I think I'm going to just put some stairs going down here. Let's see if I can make it work. Trying to find some very specific kind of stone stairs. These are the ones. These are they. Yeah, I mean, Dungeon Alchemist, I'll be honest with you, like, we're still in early access, but we have committed to, long-term development on this project. We had, 2 updates in the last 6 months, where our next major update will probably be, hoping, this summer, somewhere around there. But we're constantly, like, adding new objects and, environments and room types and stuff like that. Yep, Wim did say August, which is quite a while out. It's an estimate, too. Still summer. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do is just kind of keep going down here. Thanks. Glad you enjoyed it, Jim. So, David, I'm multi-streaming on like 6 different platforms right now. We're on Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Steam. So if I'm talking to people you don't see in your chat, that's why. Oh, David, thank you for the follow, by the way. Much appreciated. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that's why I look and sound crazy, is because I'm actually talking to other people. I think what I've done here with the stairs so far is coming along. Oh, that's the side. I have to carve that back a bit. Hey, no, thank you so much for checking us out. Our website is on our profile, like our link to our website, which also links to our Steam and whatever. Just letting you know, Dungeon Alchemist is on sale for about 40 more minutes. So if you're looking at it, you're interested, it's on sale through the Steam Winter Sale, which ends at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So like very soon. Don't mean to rush you, but it's a heckin' good deal. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, David. It was nice to meet you, and we'll see you in the future. Oh, that's looking good, fam. Bring the token up and check it out. I'm going to delete that now that I don't need it. Well, we're getting there. Darn it. Why won't it transition? Like for here, it's perfect. You know, I haven't spoken with him since. I just know it was late for him, so he was probably ready to go to bed. You know, it was about 9 p.m. his time when we wrapped up his questions segment. So, sure, he just wanted to hang out with his kids and his wife and relax. Hmm. A dog barking. Yeah, that makes sense, Mondo. It's okay. I'm not going to have a full transition. I'm just going to put the black spot there to like block it. It'll look pretty good though from this side and that side. Once you get down here, it'll be good enough. You know what I mean? No, I think Wim really enjoyed the interview. He had a lot of fun. He always enjoys hanging out with the community. Um, it was just late for him. That's all. It was getting late. Imagine, you know, getting an interview right before you're going to bed. That's basically what it was like for Wim. You know what I mean? He's he loves hanging out with the community and answering questions. He's got a great sense of humor. And like honestly, like he's so patient when it comes to like tech issues and other stuff. When like we were messing with his video before the stream for almost like 30 minutes uh because his camera wasn't cooperating. And then I ended up like um chroma keying out his backdrop manually on my end, and it worked rather well. So anyway, he's always eager to come onto the stream and hang out. In fact, when I asked the devs, he was like the first one to volunteer. So I think he loves hanging out with y'all. I'll get his feedback for sure, like direct though, now that it's a work week and I can talk to him. Um, but I didn't really feel like hitting him up on a Sunday and asking him about it. You know what I mean? Hey, Frau, how are you? Arthritic, welcome back. It looks pretty good. Pretty good. Bummer. Deleted my stairs. Just noticed the music stopped. Let me fix that really quick. Fixed. Stand by. How's your weekend, Arthritic? I think we got enough people here to talk about the recap of my D&D session if y'all want to hear about it. Would anyone like to hear how my D&D session went? Start with staircase back into where it was. I'm a little irritated about this because I spent some time getting it just right and then it got all meshed up. So yesterday was my D&D group's monthly session. That's right, we play once a month. During our session, one of our players couldn't be present because they had a work training that they couldn't miss. So we essentially did a side quest. One of our contacts in the town nearby that we live, called Grindavik, was essentially asking assistance of us. He was hoping we could help him with this issue as a little bit of a side quest to earn some coin. So basically he came to our bastion, kind of hit us up and was like, hey, can we talk? I need your help, blah, blah, blah. And he offered us a bit of coin to go investigate an issue he was running into. Essentially, an area that he was once kidnapped to and used in like occult's rituals for siphoning his energy. There's like, it was like a temple that randomly appeared in this town nearby due to like some magic mayhem, and a bunch of people were kidnapped and taken there and used for nefarious purposes, and then they were rescued by another party some time ago, like a year ago. And basically what we got of it was he's terrified of the place, and he's heard rumors and whispers and information from the lady who owns the shop directly above that random kind of weird people have been coming by trying to like urge her to let them explore her property, go below ground. Thugs have been coming in, forcing their way into her property. So she wanted help. So we basically offered to go look into it. We traveled to this location. It's a little shop. It was built basically on top of the ruins of this temple after the whole area was cleaned up. I'm going nuts here. Why can't I see this one? There it is. Okay. And when we arrive, we go into the shop, kind of start scoping it out, seeing what it's all about, kind of talking to them. And the little old lady running the shop, she's super nice, starts, selling stuff to the party right away. Our party bought like 75 GP worth of incense and and like 100 GP worth of paint supplies. Because, party be partying. They love to shop. And, okay, this is driving me crazy. Why does this keep disappearing? So, we talked to the shop owner after we bought all this stuff, asked her questions about the ruffians that have been bothering her. We offered to help. We spoke with her nephew and her niece, and they gave us some chemicals, which we combined together to make some sort of bomb because they wanted to help fight them. Yep, you're right. I thought it was low enough. Anyway, so after kind of chatting with these people, figuring out the gist of what was going on with them and why people were bothering them, we opted to help them. And as we were like discussing this with them, the dudes, while we were talking with them, we locked the doors to make sure they'd be safe, because she said they usually show up and like demand to get in around this time of day. And we have for some reason, 2 immovable rods. So we just put them on each door so they were barricaded while we were chatting with them and making a plan. And of course, the DM throws a wrench in the works. Oh my goodness. Hi. Hold on one moment. Oh, how's this baby? He is a pupperito. Look at. Look at. Who's that good boy? So, we essentially, we're in this little shop that they sell odds and ends. It's like a general store. And I feel like we bought enough stuff that they'd have money for months while we were there. Anyway, talking to them about the thugs, the ruffians, and then they show up, right? So we have to act on our, on our toes, essentially, to think quick. And we hide them in the corner of the shop, and I do a minor illusion in front of them. And then our changeling changes into the shape of the old lady, and I use disguise self to look like the young nephew. While our party runs into the back room and goes downstairs into this underground area that the lady had told us about. Sorry, I forgot to mention. This lady had these lamps in the back of the room. They were lightning lamps. And we kind of investigated them. 2 of our party members touched them and got shocked because they're just super curious. And the items, what were they? They were lightning, what were they? Constructs, essentially, living in these lamps. And I was like, where did you get these? The lady's like, oh, that we found them in the basement we were digging out for storage. So they had been digging into this ancient temple, discovered some broken constructs, and fished these lightning elementals essentially out of them and use them as lamps. So we decide to, the party went and hid down in that area. We tell these guys that come in, hey, we don't want any trouble. Whatever you're after, we'll let you come in. They're like, we need to get into your basement. We're like, oh, the basement. Okay, we'll take you there. So we escort them into the basement to be ambushed by the party. And we essentially jump into a fight where we have the jump on them. I hit 2 of them with an upcasted hold person. So 2 of them were paralyzed, and the party was just going to town on those guys. They were down within 2-3 rounds. And the 3rd guy was kind of putting up a fight, but then also held person on him. And same thing. I had never really gotten to use hold person before this fight, because we are constantly fighting monsters, not humanoids. So it was a first. It was great. You falling asleep over there, buddy? He's looking sleepy. Gwenny, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. If the map was made prior to the Fun with Objects update, you can't add a basement to it. But if it's a newer map built recently, then yes, you can add a basement to any map. What's going on? Oh, okay. Sorry. Anyway. Where was I in the story? Got a little distracted there. Let me save this. Triplicate saves. I'm going to generate a new map to show you. Stairs, by their very nature, go up and down. That's exactly how stairs work, right? Because I don't know about you, any stairs I have in my home, I don't just use them one way. Very rarely are stairs only used one way, right? Because you can go up these stairs to the top floor, but you can also use them to go down. So if you have a basement, right, i.e. a floor below. Notice it shows you the outline of the floor above when you're drawing the floors below. And I'm just generating this to demonstrate it very quickly. I now have 2 floors, one above, one below, right? You can add the stair to the lower floor. Any old stair will do. And it will dynamically cut a hole above. Notice the light's leaking through. I'll just do it in that corner. But you can move the stair and it adjusts. Hey, Pike, how you doing? So essentially, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. You can have stairs going up. You can have stairs going down. I made a mistake when I generated this room without any walls. I'm going to go up another level. And then if we go back to the stairs, put another stair. Yeah. Now we'll put this one going in this direction. And then I'm going to move the one below. Probably to the corner. Let's try and coordinate these. So now there's a stair going up and a stair going down. Did that answer your question? You made a map likely in the biome called Dark Parchment, and if you did that, that biome does not support basements. You can't go into negative floors in the Dark Parchment biome. So you are likely, if you go to this terrain tab right here, you click this, and then you go to this tab here, it says change terrain type. You are likely in Dark Parchment. Change it to a terrain biome. So Dark Parchment and Green Screen, they're non-terrain biomes. They're just simple flat backgrounds. Either the Green Screen is so you can, edit it out and have just images. And the Dark Parchment is just to focus on the interiors only of a space. So there's really no highlight of an exterior, i.e. environment. So if you go in this tab and change it from Dark Parchment to, say, Forest, and then change terrain, it will change the terrain around the environment automatically, or around the building automatically. So you can change the biome anytime you want to something else, as long as you're in the digital map mode, I believe. Yeah, technically you can, but I think they probably are hoping to have a basement, at the end of the day, Mondu. But notice how I just moved this exact build to this other environment without any problem. So you could just, if you go into this tab right here in the left menu, looks like some rocks, then go to the 4th tab in that menu, change terrain type from Dark Parchment to whatever other biome you feel fits, and then hit change terrain. But if you want to have like a basement or a sub, area in a map, like an underground area, it's best to use terrain-based biomes because they're the ones that support it. Just want to remind you all that the Steam sale is only available for Dungeon Alchemist for like another 15 minutes. So if you have Dungeon Alchemist on your wish list, or you're watching us right now and you're like, oh, wow, this is really cool. Dungeon Alchemist is currently 20% off from the Steam Winter Sale, which we have no influence over, the length of time that it's on sale. The sale ends today at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're interested in participating in that sale, getting a deal on Dungeon Alchemist, or gifting a copy to a friend. Yep. Okay, back to the story of D&D. I wanted to answer questions first. So, let's get back to our Bone Forge, yeah. Right, Remy? I remember that people talking about those days, but I wasn't there for that. When I joined DA, there was environmental biomes for sure. So, but dang, a lot's changed since, the early days. How you doing today, Remy? What is new? To change this floor to like a more matching stone. So we essentially are in this underground cavern, curb stomping these dudes, cultists, that were trying to, break their way into this little old lady's shop and, muscle their way into her home, go into her basement and look for information because they're like part of a cult. They're trying to get into the temple, right? So first two of them we took out pretty easy because they were paralyzed from hold person. They just kept failing their saves, or I'd forced them to fail their saves with like a portent or a silvery barbs, and the party just kept wailing on them. Third guy, we take him prisoner, and we start when he's paralyzed, we essentially start using spells to like understand anything we can about these guys, why they're here. And my son has detect thoughts, so he was reading his mind, and he was able to push into his mind and get as much information as we could. But sadly, he was like a henchman, and we had killed his boss. Whoops. So we decided to put him out of his misery after we learned everything we could out of him. And then we used Speak with Dead on his boss to get some basic information. Yeah, no worries. If you have any other questions, let us know. That's correct. Any biome besides those two will be fine for multi-level. I'm going to extend this just a little bit. Darn it. No matter what I'm going to do, it's going to break that. Just going to move you over here. A safe spot. Swallow. Nowhere's safe. It just generated this with walls. Look what I've done. Move you back just a little bit. And I used the wrong wall type. I'm so confused. Which wall is that? So anyway, we got the information we needed from this guy, and then, kind of figured out why he was there and who sent him, and where they were at was in this other realm on the astral plane, so we have no idea where they are. That being said, we decided to continue investigating this underground area. We found 2 dead constructs with massive bodies, and like massive constructs. And inside of them were 2 more lightning constructs, or 2 more lightning, like, what are they? What did I say they were earlier? Anyway, we grabbed those lightning boys, put them in bottles, which, Jim, you kind of surprisingly did predict the battery thing. Elementals, yes. I don't understand how you knew that. That trips me out. I might actually just end up using freestanding walls here to solve this problem, because this is irritating. I'm not going to lie. But what I'm going to do is have a stair going down this way. Anyway, so we have now 4 of these elementals in bottles, that lightning elementals or whatever they are. And that's kind of interesting, right? I feel like Link just storing fairies or whatever. Then we decide this room is safe, and we decide to move into the next room. But before we do, I realize, there might be baddies in there. This area had baddies, but they're dead, but might be other ones in the next room. Who knows? So I have this kind of like signature move I do with my character now. I call it Nolzur's Marvelous Peephole. So I'll just put a peephole in a door so we can look through them when we're like investigating areas or trying to like sneak through areas without being seen, or, see if there's bad guys in there. And so it allows me to just kind of peek into the next room quickly without wasting tons of paint or time. And because I use Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments to do that. And I see inside that there's these like ghost looking entities. What were they called? I'm trying to remember their names. Ollips. That's what it was. So it was an Ollip in the next room. I was able to identify it to tell everyone what it was all about. And we prepared ourselves with actions, and then we opened the doors simultaneously and just unloaded on this one. When we unloaded on the first one, we realized there was a second one. Too big as far as what, like, file size or overall dimensions? But yes, there is a wiki page that can help with that. Trying to decide what to do here, but I think this is the way to go. Anyway, that's a quick way to work around the issue without, like, irritating myself. Why are those so much raised compared to the rest? That makes no sense, actually. What is going on here? The terrain? So we take out 2 Ollips in that room, and then some other large kind of ghost entity appears. I didn't identify it, so I didn't know what it was offhand, and I never asked yesterday. But it, like, has these attacks where it can, like, age you, like, between 20 and 100 years, like that. or like 80 years, and so you have to like roll saves against it. It can also possess you. There was what was in the room with us? I was trying to think. So basically, in this room, there was doors all the way around the side, and after we cleared all these ghosts, it was like 3 rounds of combat or something, but because we had surprise and knew what to take them out with, knew what their resistances and immunities were, we kind of put them down really quick. And because we succeeded on a bunch of checks, they weren't able to like possess us or, age us or do anything that, was detrimental. We essentially cleared the room before they were able to open these doors and awaken a bunch of other entities in each of the rooms. I was using detect magic after we cleared the fight, realized all these rooms have magic, and there was like a box in the end of the room that was lead. So I was like, well, that's suspicious. There's probably something magical in it, and it had a magical trap on it. So we were essentially like, okay, let's figure that out. We tried, getting rid of the trap didn't work. We had dispel magic and it failed. So one of our players who just loves to trigger traps ran up and opened it, and it was like a transmuted fireball. It was an acid ball. So he took like 36 points of acid damage. He loves it, so, it's whatever, I guess, but it's hilarious. One moment here. So we clear that trap. Inside were 2 magical items, which we identified right away. There was a tan bag of tricks, like where you can pull out an animal or whatever. And then there was these things, they were like caltrops, dimensional caltrops or something. They do damage that's like way above normal caltrops. It's pretty cool. I'm actually going to have to pull off the sale watermark because it ends in just a moment. Well, a couple minutes. I'm going to take it right now. Don't have to worry about it. Trying to make an underground cavern here. This corner. That one. Alrighty. Let's generate this space. We'll change the walls and stuff in a moment. I also don't want to ruin my volcano up here. Oh, it's still good. We're good. So I'm trying to get to an underground space so we can make like a forge here. What's up, Asmodeus? How you doing, bud? See you later, Pike. Have a good one, man. Good, good. I didn't know you were on TikTok. Okay. Where was I in the story? Just found the magic items. So we end up like using detect magic, and I'm realizing there's magic behind each of the doors in the room. There's like 4 doors lining each side of the room of this long temple corridor. And also there's these crystals on the wall that have teleportation magic. And I was like, please don't touch those. I don't know where they go. And I don't know if I can get you back. We have 2 people in our party that love to touch everything. And so I have to beg them and plead with them sometimes to not touch things. Anyway, we essentially we're like clearing this room that was like this ancient temple of an old cult that about a year ago another party fought against and, you know, won. They, however, sealed away a bunch of big bad dudes in each of these rooms and like using magic that I don't comprehend at this moment because I'm not a high enough level. But there's like tombs in each room, and on them is some sort of seal. I'm afraid each room has traps, so we use Mage Hand, and we have a sentient dagger that can read like runes and magical text. So we hold the magical dagger, the sentient dagger with Mage Hand, and just go inside and have it read all the runes, and it tells us what's going on in each room. And it's like, yeah, you don't want to open these. There's a hag in here. Yeah, there's a vampire in here. Yeah, there's a death knight in here. So had we opened those, we would probably have been wiped. And after the fight, we were told by the DM that 1 room at a time was going to get opened by the ghost that we were fighting. I don't know exactly what it was. But had we not killed it quickly or had it taken over someone's body, it would try to open doors and then wake up the things in there. So we'd have to fight increasingly harder and harder enemies. It was, to say the least, a little sketchy and a little worrisome, but we did good. I'm so confused by this. I thought this room went out to here. Let's edit this room. There we go. Now it is. What did you say to do, Remy? Touch the wall. Let's do a stair going down now. Why are some of these visible and some of them not? They're all the same height. That's too funny. This has got to be like the bare minimum. Such an inconsistency. Tried to move my screen. Yeah, I do that all the time when I'm watching Dungeon Alchemist people play it or like use it in their own campaigns. Thinking of a spiral stair here going down. Something like that. Gonna look at a few. I'm gonna change the flooring in here too. Could even just do something simple like this. Ow. The lava is awesome, huh, Luke? Yeah, the lava lamps will be cool. So we essentially go room by room, seeing that all of them have like seals and or they're things you don't want to mess with because inside are baddies that are way above our levels that we just don't want to fight. that would have been like a really intense battle had we not cleared it super quickly. So we gather, anything off the corpses that we can, of the dudes we took out. They had some like plate armor and +1 maces and 2 supreme potions of healing each. Dang. So we got pretty good on the loot from them, and they weren't able to heal because we killed them so quick. So it was a pretty good little session for us. Wrapped up really, really tight little bow there. We went back up, told the old lady that her home's like built on top of like, some bad juju, and she's going to have people constantly attacking her or wanting to get into her home to get underneath if she, stays there. So we encouraged her to leave, to move out. And yeah, she did. So that was kind of the end of that. It was a quick little, uh, side quest sesh, if you will. I used a lot of mine spikes because we were in tight quarters, so I couldn't really do fireball very much. I was just being safe. I think I'm getting pretty close to where which tile is up here. Roman gray pattern. Now everything at least is matching on those floors. Aside from this weird stretch of wall that for some reason is still visible. Alrighty, I'm gonna delete it. It's bugging me. Y'all feel like there was anything in the story I might have left out? Let me know, because I was kind of talking and doing support and whatnot all at the same time, and might have forgotten something. Darn it! Did it delete the rock? It did. All of this got deleted too, just so far above. That makes 0 sense to me. None of this is near that. That is too aggressive. Like a cheerleading pep squad. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. When you generate walls, it deletes stuff to the side. I don't think we talked about that in the interview. At least I don't recall it being discussed. What I'm going to do is add some more stone. But what I'm going to use is the sandstone variant. Why am I using the sandstone variant? Because it has the color slider, which means you can make it a solid black color, which fits really good with these environments. Lower it the littlest bit. Trying to make like a custom rock looking environment, you know? It's also covers this kind of entryway. We're looking good. So, Frederick, welcome to the stream. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for the program you're seeing here. It's called Dungeon Alchemist. And you use Dungeon Alchemist to make maps for your D&D campaigns. So, whether you play in person with printed maps, or you have a digital tabletop like a projector or a TV tabletop, maybe you play online or intend to play online through something like a virtual tabletop like Foundry or Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, etc. Dungeon Alchemist supports all of those different mediums. So you can create your map and print it at home or take a digital file to a print shop. We offer a partnership with a company called Kraken War Games, and they can take your map files and put them on neoprene mats that are scratch resistant, waterproof, etc. You can export the maps as digital files for TV tabletops or projector tabletops, like I mentioned earlier. And lastly, you can export for numerous virtual tabletops, and that will include the map file at multiple levels, like slices of the map. And then if it's an animated map or a still map, your choice. And then lastly, if it's for, say, Foundry or Roll20 Fantasy Grounds, it'll include a data file that has all the data for walls, windows, doors, lighting, etc. So it essentially can map out like the fog of war and lighting and everything for you automatically when you import it. Imperator, right? It has really like grown a lot and changed over the last few years, and there's so much going on with Dungeon Alchemist. It's very impressive, to say the least. Darn it, the walls changed. Oh, I know why. There we go. I wanted a different ceiling. I was really hoping. Let's do dungeon. Wonder what it looks like from the inside. Let's see. Place a Toki in here. Oh, it's not too bad. How you doing, Decrepit Beast? Welcome. Oh, Toastic, thank you for sharing the live. How you doing, my friend? I'm going to save this really quick. I definitely am going to work on this transition space again. I want to flesh it out, like what you said, Mondu, with a building in between where the stair can be in, so it's like totally navigable. But I'm still just trying to figure out this underground space first before I do that. So, is that a roof? It might be, boys. Okay. we go. I've been good, Toastig. I've been good. Played some D&D yesterday. Had a lot of fun. Just kind of working on this, what I call the Bone Forge. A little bit intricate at the moment, but it starts out here at this kind of volcano. Imperator, if you disable the collisions on stairs, you can do a lot more with them. You can reshape them and size them so you can stack more together. However, the angle cannot be adjusted because that would mess with the textures on the object. And our artists and devs have a sort of level of fidelity they like to keep with assets. So I don't think we'll allow them to be stretched on like one axis independently. However, we have given you the ability to manipulate stairs to a reasonable degree. Not only can they be rotated, right, and resized far above and below when collisions are off. And then additionally, our next update will include the ability to rotate objects on any axis. So you can get really crazy with it. Yeah, I think I'm going to try that method, Mondu. Hey, see you later, Anani. So what I think I'm going to do is start expanding into the forge area now, which is going to be like lava flow that's down in this, like a, you know, like a lake or like a river that runs underground. I'm thinking a door here. Metal door is really nice. See you later, though, Anani. Have a good one. Oh, excuse me. Wondering what I should do in this dead space, or should I just destroy it? Make it only this along the stair. So I could just edit this room. It's good. Nice. Sorry, were you asking me a question, Toastig? So I think I'm deciding, should I have this go into a cavern Or should it be more rooms that are structured where you can see the lava kind of seeping in? I kind of like the idea of it being like a cavern, like a raw space where there's like a river running through, and then like a forge was set along it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But essentially underground will be a lava river where I'll put like a forge next to it. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, at the moment, it kind of does at that perspective, but what we're working on is, if you look at it from the top, it's this volcano, right? And there's a cave entrance into the inside of the volcano. And then you get inside here, and then underground is access to like a lava flow. Oh, this door, you mean? Yeah, it's pretty intense. So it'll be like a forge built in the lava flow is what I'm going for at the moment. Might even go down another floor. Excuse me. Yeah, that isn't going to work the way I wanted it to. Toasting, are you talking to me about a PC? I don't recall ever saying I would get that much RAM. No. That being said, though, I am on the new PC. The new PC's driving the stream at the moment. It's got a 5090 in it and 64 gigabytes of RAM. I need to mull on this for a moment, what I want to do next. I might go into just a raw cavern. Were you streaming today, Toastig? You can modify terrain, you can raise and lower it, carve it, you can change the terrain paint or textures. I don't know. I don't recall saying that much RAM about anything, really. Could be. So if you look here at the top is like a volcano, and then you go down a layer at a time. The only limit is your like computer specs, essentially. So the more powerful your machine is, the more layers you can add to a map. Because Dungeon Alchemist renders the area in real time, right? Like it renders this environment in real time. So essentially, you have to take that into account. It's not a pre-rendered environment like most video games. So everything that's visible on screen, every effect, everything that you see right now is being rendered in real time. If I zoom out, that means more resources are being used. So it's kind of a trade-off for having a real-time rendered 3D environment, that it does take a little bit of processing power to run massive maps. You know what I mean? Or maps with lots of detail and effects on them. I wouldn't, liken it to being in a video game where you expect really high FPS all the time, where it's a pre-rendered, and like we'll often get people be like, my computer can run Baldur's Gate 3 on ultra with no frame drops, but Dungeon Alchemist drops frames all the time. Why? Well, it's a totally different tool, It's essentially the tool that would have made the maps for Baldur's Gate before they were rendered as a solid environment. You know what I mean? So essentially, the more powerful your machine is, the more you can build. Yeah, these stairs are bothering me. I'm definitely going to do something with this. So I think I'm going to extend this like a room. I'm going to just edit this room and we'll extend it like 3 blocks, 4 blocks. Knew that was going to happen. That. And we'll put the stair right there. Thinking of just doing like a long, thin stair like we have here. You can have it come in a little bit like that, right? A So when you export a map, depending on how you export it, Bremen, can make all the difference. If you're exporting a still map versus an animated map, a large map versus a small map, a multi-level versus a single level can make all the difference in how long it takes to export. If it's an animated map with multiple levels, you have to think about it for a minute. You're rendering at least 30 frames per second per level on whatever resolution that map is. So let's say it's 60 by 60 at 72 DPI. You're looking at pretty high resolution. So it takes time to render that as a video. So what I usually do when I'm doing like an animated map export, I'll set it up before I go to bed, right? And then I'll make sure nothing else is running on my computer and I just let it run and do its thing overnight. If you're just doing a still map, you can export it pretty quick. So DA map exports for above VTT. I'm assuming you were using the UVTT or the built-in above VTT options. You know, there's also just limitations to UVTT in general. There's a limitation to how many like doors and walls can be on a map and like how big a map can be. So it could be a combo of either our limitation or their limitation. But yeah, when you export your maps for above, I recommend doing a 72 DPI export because that will allow you to get as big of a map as possible in a small of a file. Any virtual tabletop, I recommend 72 DPI, in fact. Oh, nice, Decrepit. I bet you they love that. So very confused by this now. We're gonna make this work. Darn it. Can't win with this one. You shouldn't be using JSON files on above VTT. I'm confused by that. It's a singular file for above VTT called a DDVV2 or DD2VTT or something like that. JSONs are typically intended for Foundry, and they're a text file, so they're typically pretty small. When we have a map that's multi-level, you get a JSON per level. So the JSON files are minuscule compared to the map itself, the image or the video of the map. I don't know, Rev. I can't speak to that, unfortunately. I'm a little flustered at the moment trying to think of what to do here, but I think I have a solution. Correct, tropism, but if it's over a certain size, then it won't allow it because MP4 has limitations in file size and resolution. So Toastig, when you export for above VTT, if you use the above VTT exporter setting that we have set up here for you, right? Hold on. When you select above VTT right here, it will export with a singular file, to my understanding. Hold on, let's just test. Let's just do... We're going to do only the current layer. So yeah, it includes a singular file that's an all-in-one file called the DD2VTT. It's a proprietary file format designed by, what was it? I can't remember the company. Anyway, it's essentially a map file that has all the data for the map and the image as an all-in-one, which it's really nice. It's a universal file format that a lot of different VTTs use now. I think it was made by Dynamic Dungeons. That's who, or not Dynamic Dungeons. Who is it? I can't remember who made it. Sorry. Dungeon Draft. That's the one. There's a lot of names out there and I forget sometimes. So Dungeon Draft made that one. And they offered it out to the greater like virtual tabletop community. So a lot of virtual tabletops use it. Above, Encounter Plus, Harpy VTT, like a lot of them use it. The downside of it, though, is it's an image only, so there's no animated map options. And it does have limitations. It'll hit an upper limit if the map is too big, if the map has too many walls or lights or windows and doors. There is an upper limit for sure. The JSON file is attached when you export for Foundry, Tropism. So if you exported your map for Foundry instead of above, that'll include an image or a video file, depending on how you export it. So you can set it to an image, an MP4, or a WebM video. I prefer WebM because you can do any size map you want, and the quality is very reasonable. WebM scales infinitely, whereas MP4 has limitations of resolution. So you export the map, and then you would take it into like Foundry. You have two imports that you do to Foundry, the image or video, and then the JSON file. The JSON file has like all the lighting and wall, window, doors, etc., line of sight. That DD2VTT file also has that, but if the map's too large, it will run into problems for sure. So I typically recommend using it for maps that are only like 50 by 50 or smaller. There's a roof. Too funny. I like deconstructed this whole area. This will make it work. Please make it work. There we go. We've got it. So I need to delete that part. And then we'll just pull this ridge back. I definitely messed that all up. But hey, I got the transition finally to function. Okay. I'm definitely going to have to fix this up. It's a bummer. That's really the only way I could get this to successfully go down there, so it is what it is. Honestly, if you want a smooth transition, you got to play with it a little bit for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a combination of these rocks and these sandstone rocks. You'd be able to do one like this. Nope, that one doesn't have the color changer for some reason. Why? Why dost thou angst me so? I'll pull a couple of these out. Use them as just like a basis, because you can color change these. They're perfect for volcanic rock. Kind of mix and match them in with the environment to kind of blend it out. Yeah, it's true. Not every sandstone is created equally. When you're right, you're right. And he's right, folks. Ooh, you know what? This kind of stuff too, like the pebbles and detritus, this will be really good out here too. I want to mix this up a little bit, so I'm going to use those later. I'm just going to leave them here like large and a different color so they pop and I remember them. I often get sidetracked and forget what I'm doing. It's an affliction I call streamer brain. It affects all streamers. Not equally, but. Toastig, do you ever suffer from streamer brain? Where you like forget what you were talking about, not even a minute? Oh, I would never blame chat. Y'all are here just to like learn and support the community. Like, it would be so petty of me to blame chat for stuff like that. You call it smooth brain? Yeah. So every once in a while, I just forget what I was talking about. I'll just be like, oh, were we talking about something important? You know what I mean? Like, what was it? They'll answer me in chat, like 20 seconds later, and I have forgotten what I was talking about just moments before. You also want to see what this looks like inside when you're doing this, because you could be covering up the ceiling. It's a good idea to grab a token, just pop them there and take a look inside. First off, the transition is looking really good. Yeah, I am like a crow or like a bird. Shiny. I am a very, very distractible. This is true. Multi-streaming definitely takes like some practice to get used to. Even just communicating with a chat as a whole takes practice. It takes a long time to get used to be able to like read chat, communicate effectively, and remember everything constantly. So I get it if like anyone's struggling with it or oops. We're almost there. That is looking good. I think this was really worth the time we put into it today. It's a smooth transition. Doesn't that just seem like interesting and fun and like also terrifying? So essentially, you would take when you export a map for. Here, let me save this a couple of times. Oh no. I'm thinking the TikTok chat stream might freeze now or end because it keeps crashing. It's gone longer today than normal, though. Who knows? Let me just export here. So TikTok, if you lose me, come over to Twitch or Steam or whatever, Face or YouTube. We're live on a bunch of different platforms. You can crop a map down. On the edges of the map, there's little chevrons, little like V's. Hold on, we'll talk about it in a moment, my friend, okay? So this map currently is evolving into a combination of multiple layers. There is the top layer, which is the most visible layer, and then a couple of underground layers that we have now. The underground areas are kind of confined into like caverns or rooms, which will be more visible as we start adding them. There's not a whole lot there currently. But essentially, each one of these would be a separate JPEG, each one of these slices. And then you could take those to a print shop and get them printed on like a poster if you wanted them printed. That, or you could, if the map is the right size, you could order for print and delivery through our partner, Kraken War Games. Though I will be honest, if you live in the US, because they're based in Europe, it might be troublesome to get stuff shipped from Europe to the US right now. You're a UK, it might be better for you then. Anyway, so this map, though, you can export it as just an image only, and then you get 3 image files, 3 JPEGs, which then you can take to a print shop, or if you have access to it, like a nice, high quality printer. Or you could take those files and do what's called rasterization, and you could split them up into much smaller prints. There's tools that offer this online for free. And then if you have like a home printer that only prints like, say, A1 or letter, then you can break it up into a bunch of A1 prints and print them at home. However, that wouldn't be very economical ink-wise. It'll start getting really expensive. Yeah, if you work in a school and have access to big printers, that might be perfect for you. Okay, so Toastig asks, can you shrink a map down? You can expand and shrink maps by going to this little symbol in the corner. If you drag it inward, it'll destroy that portion of the map. If you drag it outward, expands it. Keep in mind when you do this, save before you do it because it will take several minutes usually. It's, essentially destroying the map and re-rendering entire areas. It will, in fact, delete the outside area, yes. Toastig, by the way, the TikTok stream is still running. I thought it would crash, but we're good. I was worried because the last few weeks it's been crashing after about an hour or two, just randomly. I think TikTok doesn't like long streams, and I usually do at least 2 hours, Just doing some finishing touches on this top layer before we move in. I really like the idea of some just like pebbles. Though these ones match the terrain better. Okay, let's check this out. Trying to figure out, I probably will bring this in a bit more or line it with something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Though I do like that a lot. Yeah, you shrink it to that area and then just file save as the map, Toastig, to divert it off as a new save. So once you've shrunk it down to the area you want, then you go to file, save as, and now it's a new map. Does that make sense? So your original save won't be affected as long as you don't click save. You just save as, you can save it as, Bone Forge cropped. Does that make sense? Or a lot of people will take maps that are too large and break them into smaller sections that way too. Because if your map is, say, 60 by 60, you can break it into 4 30 by 30 quadrants, right? So a lot of times people will take their map and then reduce it into quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, save as each one if their map was too big. I'm hoping someday we'll add a tool that'll automatically quarter a map or divide it into sixths or eighths or whatever. Excuse me. Okay, I think this is perfect now. I'm going to add a few more little touches like rocks and stuff like this up top. Some geysers that are like the lava geysers or whatever, steam geysers. So I want to add some like randomness to the top to make it feel like it's a lot like this too. Let's go for geysers. Let's sink it into the earth a little bit. Oh, gosh, my sciatica is flaring up today. I feel like I've made a lot of progress on this map in only 2 weeks. Change the time of day. See what this looks like at night. Maybe like a red filter. Oh. Oh. Now that we've got this like cave entrance kind of worked out. By the way, I think I'm still going to do some more in here. Just some random stones on the side or something. Yeah, it does make it look really good. You think some crystal formations might happen, like in this area here? Lots of pressures, right? Ooh, ash. Gosh, this is looking really good. So every Monday, I build a map live for people to follow along, contribute ideas towards the build, and learn. These streams are hosted in AMA format, so you can ask questions about Dungeon Alchemist. Ask me anything about Dungeon Alchemist, whether it's you're building your own map and need support, or maybe you're exporting and having trouble, or you want to learn how I'm doing what I'm doing. So the point of these streams is to kind of give you a live tutorial every week that you can follow along with and learn the various concepts in Dungeon Alchemist. This particular map, we started it at the end of last stream. We decided on the theme and a name for it, and we started ecking out like the top area, or like, you know, forming it and getting it kind of shaped out. The point is, I'll make about a map a month. Every 4 or 5 streams, I'll finish a map and then upload it to the workshop so anyone can use it. Gosh, the red really sells this environment, doesn't it? You know what I'm going to do too? You'll love this. This is great. Take a couple of these geysers, sink it down into like the lava. One just kind of barely pushing out right there. Oh, that looks so cool. We could also add more smoke too. Thought we had smoke, or is it fire? Then if you disable the fire, it's just smoke. So essentially, if you put fire out somewhere, right, and then you disable it, it just becomes like a plume of smoke. Yep. It also just have like little random spots of fire burning. I think that makes sense in a place like this. Deciding if we should use this forge downstairs because it just looks so cool. Yeah, I don't like adding effects till the end of the map, Toastig. So these effects are very resource intense. You can add smoke and fire this way, but the problem is the more you add, the more your map gets really bogged down while you're running. Your frame rate drops. So typically this is the last thing I do when I'm making a map. So right now we're doing object curation, which is essentially on this top level, I'm fleshing out details to make it look more, you know, like it natural and normal. Little geysers here and there, smoke, fire in random spots, you know, piles of ash and detritus and, you know, just things like that to flesh out this kind of bare environment. Then when I'm all said and done, like after all the levels are done and all the details have been added, then I'll definitely go through and add effects for sure. And what I usually do when I'm going to add effects, I'll file, save the map, and then save as a separate divergent map just for effects, and I'll save it as like the Boneforge -effects dam, you know? Thank you, Realm Walker. How you doing, by the way? Really appreciate all your posts on like Reddit and on don't you post occasionally on Facebook as well? Glad to hear, my friend. Glad to hear. Welcome back to the stream. Hoping to put some of this ash on the stone, but it's not very cooperative. Kind of like mix up the monotony of it a bit. Piles too awkward. Hey, Jack, welcome back. Nice. Instagram too? I'll have to find you there for sure. I didn't know you were on Instagram. I do see your posts occasionally on X. You know, when you, and I'll favorite them or you know, retweet them, whatever, whenever I see them. By the way, y'all, if you're posting anything anywhere on social media, if you tag us in it or use the hashtag Dungeon Alchemist, usually I'll find it and then I'll, you know, upvote it, comment on it, share it, whatever. I do my best to try to locate anyone's content. If you found you post, or if you see you've posted something and I haven't noticed it, please let me know. You know, reach out to me privately and I will gladly remedy the situation. Ooh, yeah, some more skulls would be fine. There's lots of bones in there already, though. Oh, man. I was trying to mute my mic before I sneezed and didn't get it in time. There's a little touch button right to mute. Oh, that's like Super Terminator. We need like a foot crushing that, right? Oh yeah, you know, I'll be honest. This idea is so fun because it's one of the only animated objects with lava in it. So it's just fun to kind of feed loop it into other lava environments for sure. Yep, TikTok just crashed. But hey, it went 2 hours, so that's good. Not bad at all. How was your weekend, Jack? Anything interesting happened to you, my friend? I really am loving the little details. I'm just trying to think of what other things we can add out here. Shh, remember me. I think I'm gonna have to pass on that one, Mandu. In the lava. Do y'all want to see some teasers before we end the stream from the last stream on Saturday? If you missed it, you can check it out. I'm gonna save and we'll take a look because I'm kind of I want to take a break on building for a bit today. If any of you happen to miss the last stream, these will be great. Something you'll want to check out. One of the most interesting things shared in the last stream Sorry, I was just changing something on the stream. I am surprised, though, that the TikTok stream lasted 2 hours before it crashed again. I'm not sure what's causing it. Still trying to wait to hear back from them. So this will be, it's a 3D environment. It looks cel-shaded, kind of, you know. It's just kind of a new, interesting... So this will be like a new room type where you can make the kind of hand-drawn, kind of almost coloring book looking rooms. This one's not done. It's got a long ways to go. I need to go into the bottom area and do the whole forge still. But the top area needs some work still, just a little bit. As far as lighting is concerned, I'll probably put it on red because I really enjoy this. Oh, nice, Jack. That's interesting. Yeah, I think the stream just desynced and crashed on TikTok because it also happened the same way over on Steam for a moment. But yeah, look at the entrance, y'all. This is kind of the plan so this is called the Bone Forge, the name of the map. And the idea behind it is there was a massive battle here at one point. A cataclysmic event happened during the battle, some kind of major spell or something happened, right? And it caused this volcano to form and erupt immediately. And basically, Um, it was found that the lava here, because there were so many people that died, like all these people died immediately when the the volcano erupted. There's just piles and piles of bodies. The lava is very carbon rich, and if you like make items here in the forge, they end up being extremely resilient and kind of I'm kind of making a fantasy Damascus, if you will. So essentially the plan is to build a forge in this cave here. We're going to go in and build a next session, that'll be what we're working on, is the cave and the lava river, and then like a forge set up in there where a master craftsman, a master smith can build expert super resilient blades that are sharp as can be, and like amazing armor and whatnot. I honestly am constantly building the lore of maps as I design them, so I'm glad you appreciate that. Yeah, there's another token down there that I left from before. So sometime during the next stream or two, we'll be adding lava down here, some sort of tunnel system with a lava river and whatever, you know? Nope. Anyway, thank you everyone that attended today. Really appreciate you all so very, very much. We're going to save this twice just to be nice. Actually, let's do triples. Triples is safe. Triples is best, right? Hope y'all enjoyed the stream today. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you. This map is coming along fast and it's looking really cool. I can't wait to see how it turns out. I think we'll do a little bit more object work on the top layer before we dive into the cave next session, but we do have at least the pathway and the underground caverns mapped out and getting to an area where it'll be. Thank you everyone for being here, for hanging out, whether you were actively chatting or you were lurking and chilling the whole time. I appreciate you. Whether it's your first stream or your 500th, thank you for being part of our damn family. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is available on Steam. You can try Dungeon Alchemist before you buy. We offer a free demo where you can build a tavern in our forest biome and experiment with the tools a little bit, see how it runs on your computer before you invest, money in it, so you can see exactly how it runs for you. Otherwise, though, I would appreciate it if you're, kind of on the fence with Dungeon Alchemist, you check out the demo, maybe wishlist us, and also check us out on social media or join us in our Discord. We have a very vibrant and active community in our Discord where you can ask questions, get support, bounce ideas for your campaign off of other DMs and GMs, and also see the latest and greatest information related to Dungeon Alchemist as it's available. Thank you everyone again for being here. I'm going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad. Oh, before I go, mods, thank you so much. Atlam, in particular, for being an absolute ace. Asmodeus, Remy, all the other mods that dropped by today, thank you for all you do. Again, we're going to run that Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and we're going to wrap up the stream. I hope everyone has an amazing Monday. Mac out.
But can it handle curves?
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 Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map-making application for role-playing games, now comes with both round and diagonal walls. Create amazing professional maps for your players in seconds. Get it now on the Steam store.